I have to put that in parentheses and then plus 1. So I get plus 1. I don't need to put the 1 in parentheses because it's not a fraction. Now watch. Everybody that has a graphing calculator should be practicing this. Hit enter. You get this hideous decimal. Well, that's okay. Your calculator will change it back to a fraction for you. And guess what's cool? It's going to put it in the most simplified fraction for you. You don't even have to know how to simplify a fraction. So everybody right here, does everybody see right here where my arrow is? I'm going to hit the math key. If you hit math, notice it says fraction, fraction. So you're going to hit enter. Now it's saying, do you want me to put your answer into a fraction? You're going to hit enter again to say yes. So 5/3. It added that up for you. The calculator did all the work. 5/3. Did everybody practice that has a graphing calculator? Yes or no? So did anyone have a graphing calculator today? Okay, did you practice and you were able to do that? I didn't go too fast? Okay, we'll go slower on this next one. Okay, we'll go slower on this next one. Okay, so let's do 2/3 times by 4/5 in our calculator. So everybody, I'll go slower this time on the calculators. If you don't have a calculator, you need to be watching because you're going to have one and you're going to be able to use it. And you should get answers right from now on. Okay, so we're doing, what was the fraction? 2/3, right? 2/3. Okay, so put a parenthesis. You have to put parentheses to group 2/3 so it knows that it's 2/3 connected. 2/3. So we're going to do 2/3, and then I'm going to hit the times key. So 2 divided by 3. That's how you type in 2/3. 2 divided by 3. So 2/3 times, and I have to do another parenthesis again. Oops. And I'm going to go, I accidentally hit 2 there. Delete. Okay, so 2/3 times, what was the other fraction? 4/5. So 4 divided by 5, close your parenthesis. Hit enter. Did you all get the decimal? Okay, now we want to change it back to a fraction. So you're going to hit the math key, M-A-T-H, math. Hit the math key, and then hit enter, enter. Enter, enter. It's putting it back into a fraction, and it's going to put it in the most simplified fraction for us. Come on, it froze up. Did it do it? Yours should have done it. Did yours do it? What'd you get? 8/15. Awesome. My calculator froze up on there. So 8/15. Okay, any questions on how to use a calculator? Now understand something cool. Let's extend that further, guys. Everybody listen. Let's say instead I was trying to figure out what 2/3 x plus 1x was. Does everybody see how 2/3 plus 1 is the same thing as 2/3 x plus 1x? It's just now we're combining like terms. Does everybody understand that? So what is x plus x? 2x, right? So now I'm asking you, what's 2/3 x plus 1x? Your calculator will not type in an x for you, but you can do it the same way. We're just combining like terms. So in your calculator, you'll type in 2/3 plus 1, using parentheses, 2/3 plus 1, and we got 5/3. So if we're adding 2/3 x plus 1x, we're going to get 5/3 x. Does that make sense? How you could do that? So kind of cool. Kind of cool. We're going to use that in solving today. Okay, so let's get to the new stuff. Here we go. Because I want to give you plenty of time to work and get help today. So I decided to spend an extra day on solving linear equations because we didn't even get there with you guys yesterday. And this stuff can be hard for a lot of students, but technically they assume in this book that you should already know how to do it. But I'm not going to assume that because I can promise you that most of you haven't done this in a long time. It's going to feel brand new again. So I think it's good to spend a day, and I think it would bite us in the butt if we didn't spend a day to learn this, okay? So let's go through and talk about this. So I would be taking notes. Here we go. Solving linear equations, okay? So what we're trying to do when we're solving linear equations is we're trying to get x alone piece by piece. Once again, we're trying to get x alone piece by piece. Now, we have to use the correct inverses, okay? Now the reason is we're going to have an equation. We're going to have an equation. I'm going to write it. We're going to have some equation is equal to some equation here. I should have said expression. We're going to have an expression equal to some expression. Now we're going to be moving things from one side of the equation to the other, but we can't just magically float it to the other side. We've got to perform the correct inverse operation to get it over there. Now once again, we might be starting on this side of the equation and need to move something over to this side. We can't just magically we float it over there, we've got to use the correct inverse operations to get there. Okay? So inverse, guys, inverse just means undoes. Once again, inverse just means undoes. So inverse of addition is subtraction. So subtraction undoes addition, and addition undoes subtraction. Now let me show you why. If we have a positive 2, and I subtract 2, what do we get? 0. So this was addition, this was subtraction, they undo each other, it becomes 0. Does everybody understand how addition undoes subtraction, subtraction undoes division? Subtraction undoes addition. Sorry. Any questions on that? Okay, what about this? Multiplication. So let's say we have 2 times x. That's multiplication. How could we get x alone? Divide by 2. So you're saying that to undo this multiplication, we've got to divide. So then 2 divide out and become 1. So that's just x. And we just have x if we undo the 2 by division that was multiplied. So what if I switched it and had x over 2? 2x is being divided by 2. What undoes division? Multiplication. So if I multiply by 2, then 2 divided by 2 and goes away and we just get x. So does everybody see how multiplication undoes division? Likewise, division undoes multiplication. Yay. Okay, let's practice this. Some of you need to really be taking notes. Here we go. So we have 2x is equal to 6. We're trying to solve for x. What's the goal? We're trying to solve for x. 2 is being multiplied to x. 2 is being multiplied to x. What undoes multiplication? Division. So we'll divide both sides. We have to do both sides by 2. So look, 2 divided by 2 becomes 1. It goes away. They don't hit each other. So we have x is equal to, what is 6 divided by 2? 3. Now on a test, I honestly might say, show me how you check your answers. I need all the work. How you can check your answers, guys, and how you should be checking your answers is taking your answer and plugging it back into the original equation wherever there's an x. So what we have was 2 times x, but I'm plugging this in for x because that's what we got as our answer. So 2 times 3 is equal to 6. Let's see if that's a true statement. What's 2 times 3? 6 is equal to 6. That's a true statement if you've done this right. Any questions? Okay. Let's look at the next one. We have x over 3 is equal to 9. What undoes division? Multiplication. Multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. Now don't forget, sorry about that. Continuing. So now don't forget, some of you I call it double dip. You forget to actually divide out the 3's over here. Okay, so don't forget to. So that leaves me with x is equal to what's 9 times 3? 27. Let's check our answer. You're going to check your answer by plugging it back into the original problem wherever there's an x. So that was 27, we're plugging it in wherever there's an x over 3 is equal to 9. Let's see, is that a true statement? What's 27 divided by 3? 9 is equal to 9. True statement? Okay, good. Questions? If you have them, you need to ask them. This class doesn't ask questions, and then when I set you free, you don't get it. So ask, please. I promise other people have the same question. Okay, moving on. A little bit harder here. X minus 3 is equal to 6. X minus 3 is equal to 6. So our ultimate goal is to get x alone. What are we doing here? We're subtracting 3. What undoes subtraction? Add 3. Add 3. So we get x is equal to, those have to be 0. They undo each other. X is equal to 9. Let's quickly check our answers. Plugging that back in into the original equation wherever there's an x. So 9 minus 3 is equal to 6. Is that a true statement? 6 is equal to 6. Okay. Let's look on the right though. This one is tricky and this one gets people almost every time. Every time. So we have 2 minus x is equal to 7. What I'm going to show you guys is this is the same thing as negative x plus 2 is equal to 7. Same exact thing. I rewrote it in a different order. You all understand how that was a negative x? I wrote negative x. Was that plus 2? Was that plus or 2? So plus 2. If I write it like this, I won't make as many errors. Does that make sense? You don't have to, but it's just helping you see how to go about solving this one. Okay, let's go through this one. What am I going to do first? Subtract 2 from both sides. So right now we have negative x is equal to, what's 7 minus 2? 5. Is x completely alone? No. There's a negative what number in front? Negative 1 in front. So now we'll divide both sides by negative 1. So then it's gone. So we have x is equal to, what's 5 divided by negative 1? Negative 5. Do you have questions? Okay. Now we could check it. You plug in a negative 5 right there. We're going to have 2 minus negative 5. What happens when we minus negative? Plus is 7 equal to 7. 5 plus 2 on the left. Okay. Awesome. Okay, let's get a little bit harder. 3/4 is equal to x over 8. 3/4 is equal to x over 8. So, question. First of all, we're trying to solve for x, right? We're trying to solve for x. 8 is being x is being divided by 8. What is that division? Multiplication. I'm going to multiply both sides by 8. So then, I have over here, don't double dip, that divided out. So what we really have is x is equal to, x is all by itself. Now 8 times 3/4. Let's pretend you didn't know how to do that by hand. You go to your calculator, you pull it up and go like this. People, watch. 8 times 3/4. So you have to be careful though. Why is this frozen? I want to show you. Oh my heck, I feel like it's in the, hold on just a second. Why is that not working? Let me try exiting out. Okay, so we're doing 8. This should work now. 8 times, now it's very important, you put it in parentheses, 3 divided by 4. Let's say that did not type an 8. Somebody type that into their calculator. I just want you to see. 8 times 3 divided by 4. There we go. And we get 6. Woohoo! We got 6. Questions on that? Okay. Do you all feel like, okay, yeah, I can do this, especially because I have an awesome graphing calculator. Okay, let's do another one. A little bit trickier. Here we go. 2x minus 3 is equal to 9 minus x. 2x minus 3 is equal to 9 minus x. What I want you to do is, first of all, focus on the left. See if you can simplify the left. Focus on the right. See if you can simplify the right. If not, once you got it simplified, then you can start moving things across the equal sign by using the correct operation. So looking on my left, is there anything where we can simplify it? We combine any of those things? No? How about 9 minus x? Can we combine any of those things? No. So we can go ahead and start bringing things over. Now we only want one variable. We only want one x in here. So we can't magically listen closely. We can't magically float them together. We've got to perform the correct operation to get from here to here. So what should I do? Good. Addition. Add x to both sides. So over here on the left, I then have 3x minus 3 is equal to, now look, those went away, that was the point, and then we have 9 left. Now from here, is it pretty easy to solve for x? Yeah, let's solve for x piece by piece from here. So I'm going to do what? Add 3. So then over here, it's gone, right? Gone. So we have 3x is equal to 9 plus 3 is 12. And then next step. Divide by 3, and that's gone. So we get x is equal to 4. Questions on that? Okay. Let's do harder. 3/5 x minus 1 is equal to 4x plus 2. Now, I went over this one first hour, and then there was one like it on the assignment, and then people were like, I can't do this one because I'm dealing with fractions. So you should be watching and taking notes, and then you should be okay. Okay, 3/5 x minus 1 is equal to 4x plus 2. Can we combine our x's? Yes, but we have to do an operation to get from one side to the other. So I'm going to ask you, do you want to subtract 3/5 of x, or do you want to subtract 4x? Okay, so we'll subtract 4x from both sides. Subtract 4x. So we have 3/5 x minus 4x. We're not going to want to do that by hand, right? We have a graphing calculator. So we're going to do 3/5 minus 4. Your calculator can't type in x's. You're going to have to just know. I'm going to combine like terms. So that's just 3/5 minus 4, and then we'll have x's. So 3/5 minus 4. I'm going to type it in using parentheses so it knows it's 3/5. So 3 divided by 5, 3/5 minus 4. Hit enter, and I get negative 3.4. Now for now, I'm going to just leave it like that as for a second, but my final answer I'll need to put back in a fraction. So right now, we have negative 3.4 x's. Is anybody confused with that? Okay, negative 3.4 x's minus 1 is equal to 2, right? Those one away. Solving for x piece by piece, what will I do now? Add 1 to both sides. So I have negative 3.4 x is equal to 3. What's my next step? Good, that's just a number. Divide both sides by negative 3.4. So then over here, those go away. So I have x, right now I have x is equal to 3 divided by negative 3.4. You'll type it on your calculator. 3 divided by parentheses, negative 3.4. It's going to give you an answer. Now that's my final answer. I do not want decimals. I want fractions. So I'm going to hit the math key. Then I'm going to hit enter, enter, and I get negative 15 over 7. That is my final answer. Negative 15 over 7. So x is equal to negative 15 over 7. Thank you. I kept saying 7. Okay, thank you. Questions? Couple more, and then I'll send you for your work. You need to stay with me. Wakey, wakey. If you need to, yourself, do it. Just kidding. Okay, here we go. Let's go through this one. Okay, so we have 6x minus 3 all over 4 is equal to 5/4. So first of all, remember, what's my goal? I'm trying to solve for x. What's my goal? I'm trying to solve for x. And notice, that whole top part is being divided by 4. What undoes division? Multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. Now watch. I know I can start even saying names of people that made this mistake, so watch for a second. So I'm multiplying both sides by 4. Now I can go through 8 names. I'm not going to, but watch. A lot of people were double dipping. They were then distributing the 4 through. But is the 4 there? Is the 4 really there? No, it divided out the 4 on the bottom. So don't double dip, okay? So we have 6x minus 3 is equal to, let's say you didn't know how to do that by hand. 5/4 times 4. You type it in your calculator using parentheses. Well, I think that this one's not bad by hand, so I'm going to do it. You could do it with your calculator, that's fine. But when we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across. So 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 1 is 4. So what's 20 divided by 4? 5. So we could have done that one with our calculator if we wanted though. So we have it equal to 5. Now piece by piece solving for x, what do I do now? I have 3. So I have 6x is equal to 8. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 6. So we have x is equal to 8/6. Now anytime I get a fraction, I check it on my calculator to make sure it's the most simplified fraction. Because that would not be the correct answer, guys. That actually wouldn't. You've got to put the most simplified fraction. So let's say you didn't know how to do that, or you wanted to check to see if you did it right. I'm going to type in 8 divided by 6, and I'm going to hit enter. It's going to give me a decimal. Now if I put it back into a fraction, the calculator will simplify it for you. So math, enter, enter, 4/3. So it's actually 4/3. Simplifies to be 4/3. X is equal to 4/3. That's the actual most simplified answer, okay? Those of you without a graphing calculator, please get it here so you can practice with it, okay? Please, please, please. You can rent them for $10 in the office. They'll give you a receipt. You'll bring it to me. Okay, next one. Okay, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. I promise we're almost done, and I'm going to work for a really long time. So stay with me, people. Stay with me. Stay focused. Here we go. 2 times 5x plus 4 is equal to 10x plus 6. You're going to have some big juicy things today. Something where you have to simplify the left, simplify the right, combine all like terms, and then start moving things from one side of the equation to the other. So let's look and focus on the left for a second. Let's hurry and simplify that before we start moving things anywhere. Simplify the left, then simplify the right, and then start moving things. So let's simplify this. 2 is right next to the parentheses, right? So it's being multiplied to all that stuff. So we've got to distribute it through. 2 times 5x. 10x, and then 2 times positive 4 plus 8. Now please be careful with your signs so you don't make any errors and have to fix anything. 10x plus 8 is equal to, and over here does that simplify further. So we're going to still have 10x plus 6. Once you've combined everything, then you can start moving things from one side of the equation to the other. So I'm going to do what? Minus 10 what? Let's combine our x's first. I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides. Over here, we add those up and we come to 0 plus 8 is equal to, what adds up over here? 0 plus 6. Yikes, so we get 8 is equal to 6. Yikes, all of our variables canceled out. Okay, that's okay, that's going to happen sometimes. Is 8 equal to 6? Is that a true statement? No, so that is not a true statement, so it would be no solution. But once again, let's say this happened, your variables canceled out and you ended up with, for example, a true statement such as negative 5 is equal to negative 5. Let's say they canceled out and it was that. Is that a true statement? Yes, so in this case it would have been all real numbers. So any number that you plug in will work if you get something that happens like this. So all real numbers. So if you get a true statement, then any number that you plug in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, keep going, whatever number you plug in will work. If you get something where it's not a true statement, no solution. Okay, questions on that? Last one, and I'm going to let you work. But you need to stay with me. Please, 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 just force yourself to stay with me. Here we go. Negative 10 is equal to 2 plus 2b plus b. Once again, negative 10 is equal to 2 plus 2b plus b. If anything's important, it's watching this example right here. This one throws people for a loop. What I'm going to tell you to do with every single problem is first focus on the left and simplify it, combine all like terms as possible. We have a negative 10, nothing to combine with it. I'm going to write it again. Now focus on the right for a second. Before you move things, focus on the right and simplify that. Ignore the negative, or ignore the negative 10, ignore the left side. 2 plus 2b plus b. What can we combine? Good. In this one, we can happen to combine the 2b plus b's. How many b's do we have? So we have 3 b's, and then you can't forget about this plus 2, right? Everybody? Plus 2. Now, piece by piece, can't we solve for b? What will we do? Subtract 2. Very careful. Many of you are still having a hard time adding these kind of things. What's negative 10 minus 2? Okay. Negative 12 is equal to 3b. What's my next step? Divide 3. Now, once again, a lot of you are still having problems. What's a negative divided by a positive? Negative. So we get b is equal to negative 4. Questions? Okay, I'm going to let you practice these problems. 1 through 8 on this front page. If you finish that, then you have yesterday's worksheet, the back, number 21 on yesterday's. Okay, ready, set, go. Start practicing these. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here, to help you right now and figure out what the solution is. I would watch if I was you, because a lot of people were getting this wrong in the last hour here. Okay, so we're going to evaluate a function at a specific value. So if you saw something like this, it says, evaluate these functions. So given that a is equal to 2, given that a is equal to 2, and given b is equal to negative 3, it's asking us to simplify these things. So look here, 2a squared minus 3b. Well, we were given a and we were given b, but we have to be really careful when plugging these things in, guys. We have to be so careful. So we're substituting in, instead of an a, we're substituting in what we were given for a. So this is going to be 2 times, you have to use parentheses, guys. 2 times 2 squared. Does everybody see how I substituted that in? Okay? Minus 3 times b. b is negative 3. You have to use parentheses. Now, order of operations. This is super important. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. P stands for parentheses. Simplify what's in the parentheses first. Excuse. Exponents. Simplify exponents first. Then my dear means multiplication and division. Simplify those next in that order. And then Aunt Sally. Addition and subtraction is what you'll do very last. So with that in mind, looking at this, look at parentheses. We have a 2 and a negative 3. Nothing to do in our parentheses. Excuse, exponent. We have to simplify this exponent first. So what is 2 squared?
4.
It's positive 4. What if that would have been negative 2 squared? Would it be negative 4? No, it'd still be positive 4. Because just remember, that's why I'm asking. That was a good try. That's why I'm asking. Because anything squared is just it multiplied by itself. So if we had negative 2 squared, that'd be negative 2 times negative 2. So be careful. Now also, guys, make sure you don't watch. I want you to understand this, because then you'll understand why not to do this. If we multiply this 2 in and then do 4 squared, you've now squared that 2. Was that 2 in front squared? No. So make sure you're careful. So really what we have is 2 times 2 squared, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. So we have 2 times 4, and then over here we have negative 3 times negative 3, which is it positive 9? Is it positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive 9. And negative times negative is a positive. So then we have 8 plus 9, which is 17. Notice I multiplied anything that needs to be multiplied first before I added them. Let's look at another one. Okay, so we have A plus 3 minus 4 times B. Just substitute it in. So we have negative 2. And then we have plus 3 minus 4 times B. This has to be in parentheses. Let's simplify this. So negative 2 plus 3, 1. And then we have to multiply that before we add it. We have to multiply it before we add it. What's negative 4 times negative 3? What am I doing? Oh. That's why. Gosh, I was like, I did not get that answer last time. Okay, A is positive 2. So 2 plus 3 is actually 5. There we go. So then we have 5 plus 12, which is 17. And then one like this. 3 times B over 4 minus A. B is negative 3. I'm going to put it in. So we have 3. I'm thinking ahead, something in my head. 3 times negative 3 over 4, and then minus A. A is 2. So let's simplify this. You have to divide before you can add this up. What's 3 times negative 3? Negative 9 divided by 4, and then we have minus 2. So on your calculator, you type in. Did I go too fast again? Okay, you type in your calculator. Negative 9 fourths minus 2. And you get an answer. Somebody, I haven't even done this one yet. Negative, somebody do it for me. Negative 9 fourths minus 2. On your calculator. Negative 17 over 4. Very good. So he's getting good at using his calculator. Okay, do problem 9 on today's worksheet. I'm only going to give you a little bit of time because we're going to talk about one last thing. Practice those. Do number 9 on the worksheet. Everybody, you should skip to that and practice it while it's fresh. Ready, set, go. Yes. Beautiful. Yep. Good. Awesome. This is something new. Probability. So we're going to talk briefly about probability. We're going to get into the very basics of probability. Probability is so cool, you guys. It's used in the real world everywhere, every single day. Okay, so probability. What is probability? Well, it's how likely it is for an event to occur. Once again, probability is just how likely it is for an event to occur. So, with probability, guys, it's going to give it to you in the form of a decimal. You're going to calculate the probability. I'll teach you how to do that next. You're going to get an answer that's in a decimal, such as 0.23. This is an example, 0.23. What you need to understand is that that is just a percent. That's the same thing as a percent. 0.23 would be equal to 23%, okay? 23%. So to find the probability, this is how you find it. You're going to take the number of times the event occurs. So once again, I really should have just said this a little bit simpler. The outcome. So you can just write outcome. The outcome over the total possible outcomes. So once again, the outcome over the total possible outcomes. So to find the probability, you'll take the outcome what you're looking at and divide it by the total possible outcomes. Okay, and it's going to give you a decimal. You'll convert it into a percent. So I'm going to do my first example. Okay, everybody look up here for a second. This part would probably be best for you to just look. Okay, looking at this bucket here, we have some marbles in here. How many marbles total do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? 9. Okay, interesting. Now, we have 4 red, 2 blue marbles, and 3 green marbles. Now, if I was to start here, take my hand and say, what's the probability of me drawing a red marble? So if I reached in, how many red marbles do we have? 4. So there's a 4 in 9 chance. The total we're talking about on top divided by the total possible outcome, there's a 4 in 9 chance I'm going to pull out a red marble. So you'll take your calculator, do 4 divided by 9. 4 divided by 9, that's equal to 0.444. So that's going to be 0.44, which is equal to 44%. There's a 44% chance I'm going to grab a red marble. Any questions on that? Cool, right? Now, what's the probability of drawing a blue marble? Well, if I put my hand in, what's the probability I'm going to grab blue? How many blues? 2 out of 9. You'll do that on your calculator. You'll type in 2 divided by 9. You'll get 0.222, and it's going to be going forever. So that's 22%. Not very likely I'm going to draw a blue marble, right? Okay, so this is basic probability. That's all you need to know for probability today. But listen, probability is so cool. In the real world, it's used everywhere. And you know, people have gotten kicked out of casinos in Vegas for knowing how to use probabilities to their advantage. So they'll see the deck of cards that's laid out on the table, and they're able to calculate probability so well in their head that they can make really good judgments and decide, I'm going to put a huge amount of money down on the table because the probability that I'm going to win is very high. And those people get caught all the time, and they get thrown out of the casinos and they're not allowed back in. So we have these really smart people using probabilities to their advantage. It's kind of cool. So that's just a side fact for you. I don't want anyone to clean up. We have 10 minutes. You're going to use the 10 minutes to finish what I just taught you. So you'll finish up the back of the worksheet from yesterday, and you'll finish up today's worksheet. Anything you don't finish this homework, I don't want to see anything put away, because that's a waste of 10 minutes of class. So work on this. Work on this. I just taught you probability. We just looked, there's problems on yesterday's worksheet that are probability. Go through and do them. Ask for help. That's what this time's for. Do not waste it. And then finish up the front worksheet. Folder due tomorrow.